When I try to reflect on this year and talk about what 23 felt like, I don't really know what to say. I know for sure a lot has happened. Being 23 this year was exhausting. For obvious reasons, it was challenging and scary. I entered 2020 really believing it was going to be my year because I had read it in an astrology magazine in the past. But depending on what kind of mindset you look at life with, every year can be yours. I mean, it is yours since you're living through it, right? I guess as long as you are constantly learning and evolving and questioning, there will be a positive outcome for you. I started this year with a slightly broken heart, trying my hardest to keep someone close to me because I believed they were my whole world. Being in love with an ideal and a life that wasn't real. Even booked a 12-hour flight to be able to say goodbye properly, which didn't even happen in the end because COVID-19 canceled everything. And I wonder if the timing was somehow right, and if I didn't made it there, it was maybe for the best. I guess the biggest question I faced this year was, who am I and who do I want to be? And to be honest, I still don't know. It's probably a lifelong quest, but I spent days looking for schools, jobs, and inspiration to help me figure out what I want to do with my life. And I still don't really know. Too many ideas, too many options, and it's hard to curate and focus on one thing. I'm sure this year has brought up a lot of questions for you too. It became an emergency to question our lifestyle and understand that having ethical beliefs isn't worth a thing without action. Apologies needed to be made and behavior needed to be changed. I really do believe that our generation will make a positive difference in the world we were born in. A lot of us understand that we need to deconstruct ourselves from the toxic schemes that were transmitted by our ancestors. I lost my lifelong companion this year, Lucy, and out of grief blossomed the idea that it was time for me to move out and get my own little place. I was born and raised in Parisian suburbs, so it wasn't too far from home. New challenges appeared, but I found peace and mental stability that was much needed. I went out, met people, created my own little routines, and discovered new aspects of my personality. Around September, anxiety peaked again and started getting worse and worse to the point where I was having panic attacks several times a week and couldn't get out of my house alone in November. It's infuriating to see how many opportunities anxiety took away from me, preventing me from doing things, saying no to everything, or just always thinking I wasn't good enough. I honestly feel like I spent years living in my head, and I woke up in 2020 realizing that nothing has changed or moved forward. I also feel like we get this pressure from society and social media that success is only measured by money, capital, and popularity, and that if you don't own a house or have your own brand by the age of 25, you're basically a failure, which is such a distorted reality. By the end of this year, I started taking online design thinking classes at UVA Darden, and it was so refreshing to hear teachers encourage students to just take the time to try and experiment in their lives, whether it was personal or professional. I learned that failing is just a way to gather more information in order to get better and succeed the next time. I also learned that communication, empathy, and patience are key, that accepting what is instead of wishing for what should be will change your life, and that I am always in power of how I react to people and situations. As I am rereading this, I am extremely grateful to still have a job despite everything, a house, my family, and myself. And if this year has been rough to you, I am very, very sorry that you had to go through hardships and traumatic experiences. I honestly wish you the best recovery and a lot of love, because you simply deserve it. So cheers to 24 and happy birthday to me.